Hello everyone, GuardianE here with another live reaction and first impression video for Fire Emblem Heroes. And today we're going to be taking a look at the next set of new heroes to drop into the game in just a couple of days. Have the trailer pulled up right now, and I'm just going to remind everybody out there that if you do enjoy the videos that we put out, including Fire Emblem Heroes content, please consider subscribing to the channel, leaving a like down below, and leaving a comment letting us know the types of content that you'd like to see from us going forward. So let us get started. Wait for the text to leave, and now. Alright. New heroes join the battle. First up we've got... Oh! Coyote's loyal. This is going to be Wolf. Alright. Cavalry Archer from Mystery of the Emblem. Has his own unique bow, reposition, Life and Death 4, some snag, and some smoke. Okay. Art's pretty nice. Oh, hello, Deft Sellsword. Malice. She looks awesome. Okay, infantry sword unit. Spendy scimitar. Okay. Sellsword, falling in line with the whole Sellsword thing. She's got Spurn 3 as well.
It's just a job.
And there she goes. Wow, she's beautiful. Love her art. Okay. And we've got Coyote's Faithful. This is going to be Roshea. Alright, Cavalry Lancer. Going to be the 4-star demote, I'm sure, or the 4-star focus unit. Stout Lance Plus, drawback. Okay, another source of drawback. What is this? The new hero type, the Ascendant Hero joins the battle. Oh, wait. Ice Ascendant. Okay. Alright, we got Armored Fjorm here. I wasn't... okay. Oh, she comes in with a save skill. So I wasn't expecting them to do this. I mean, I wasn't sure exactly how they were going to implement the new Fjorm. I guess this makes sense, but at the same time, okay, well, a new story chapter, What Remains... We are coming kind of towards the climax of the book, it does seem. And pausing here is that there's going to be a cavalry axe user there. I don't know who that is, so that's probably going to be the free unit that is available in the future. And I'm sure, again, that has been revealed in the in-game notifications, but we're not going to be taking a look at that just yet. So new heroes are here. Going to be even color distribution across. Roshea is going to be the 4-star focus unit, as we mentioned. And what is this? Ascendant Floret. You receive 1 Ascendant Floret when you summon the Ascendant hero. You can use Ascendant Floret to add an Ascendant asset to your hero's stat? What? What? Hold on. Ascendant can add an asset without... Wait, Ascendant heroes can add an Ascendant asset without using an Ascendant Floret. So she can just get one. So you get two boons? You get 2 assets? There's more. What more is there? Ascend traits. First visit bonus. All players will receive 1 Ascendant Floret when visiting the Ascend traits menu for the first time. First visit, okay. So this is the equivalent of getting another boon on your character, right? And then, okay, and then you get... Whoa, really? And then, of course, they have the pity with the Celestial Stone shop. We know all about that. Huh. That's interesting. That's interesting. I mean, look, I'm kind of all for them adding new and unique ways to buff old units. Like, I think that the more that they implement ways to kind of further limit break and ascend or awaken, whatever you want to call it, older units, the better, because it creates longevity to the staples of the game, the fan favorites that came out with the original game. Obviously, this happens in every mobile game out there. It comes in various shapes and forms, and in Fire Emblem Heroes, obviously it started with merges, right? And then skill inheritance, you have dragon flowers, you have support, summoner support, and so you have these ascended heroes or ascended assets, which is really, really fascinating. So Ascended units and Ascended heroes are automatically going to be able to have an Ascended asset. I mean, pretty much every unit out there would benefit from having 2 assets. Because even if a unit is supremely min-maxed, meaning that their the most important stats are maxed, and so that obviously means that their least important stats are like at a bare minimum, even in those instances, there would at least be 2 stats where the unit would benefit from it. And so that's actually pretty cool. And so it's limited in nature too, because you can only get these, at least for now. I wouldn't be surprised if down the line we get additional ways of getting Ascendant Florets. Maybe it shows up in the Celestial shop or another shop later, but at least for the time being, the Ascendant Floret is only going to be available when you summon the Ascended hero. That's not something that I was expecting to happen in connection with Ascendant Flor. I wasn't expecting us to get Ascendant Fjorm right now at all. Obviously, she's been featured in the Tempest Trial, so we know what she's about. There's that whole side story of Niffle and Muspel and their champions. So there's that whole thing going on, which I'm not entirely sure how that's going to resolve. So by association, I wasn't really sure how Fjorm was going to be introduced, much less Leigh-Yarn, because we're going to get Ascended Leigh-Yarn as well, introduced into the story. Maybe even with the newest update. Maybe even on the 18th, we'll get to see what Ascended Leigh-Yarn looks like. But it's really fascinating. She's not a legendary hero. She's not a mythic hero. Doesn't look like she's limited in any way. Just looking at the fine print here, it doesn't look like Ascended Fjorm is in any way limited to any specific kind of banner, so she's just going to be in there. But if you summon her, then you're going to get these Ascendant Florets. So that's really interesting. So let's take a look at the units one at a time. We've got Wolf here as a cavalry archer. Looks pretty stylish and fabulous, like the pinks and the reds and the oranges in his outfit. The purple front cloth flap as well. He's got the hair flap over the one eye, and he looks very stern and no-nonsense, despite kind of the more flamboyant nature and the colors that he has on. He has the lithe and lean form of an archer. So here is his kit. Keen Coyote Bow, 14 might, grants attack +3, effective against flying foes. At start of combat, if unit's HP is greater than or equal to 25%, grants attack speed +6 to unit during combat, and also if unit initiates combat, unit can make a follow-up attack before foe can counterattack. While that's certainly short, sweet, and powerful, the condition is going to be that he just maintains a threshold of HP at or above 25%, and then he gets everything else associated with this. So he gets attack and speed +6, which is very solid as an in-combat boost. And if he's player phasing, he has a desperation / dive bombs like effect where he attacks twice in a row before the foe can counterattack. That's not bad. That is not bad at all. Reposition for the assist. Always nice to have more reposition in the pool, although as a native 5-star you wouldn't fodder him for reposition. Life and Death 4, another source of Life and Death 4 in the regular pool. That's solid. Defense Res Snag 3. Snag skills are situational, but you are able to utilize certain strategies where you can potentially maybe offensively reposition Wolf, and that will create the snag effect on the closest enemy, and then Wolf will have the benefit of being able to engage on that enemy with their lowered defenses. Panic Smoke 3 for the C slot inflicts panic on target and foes within 2 spaces of target after combat. So I think overall, Wolf's biggest problem is that he's a little bit boring, but he's still going to be able to do just fine as a player phase archer cavalry unit. It's just he has a lot of competition out there. I feel like he doesn't do anything exceptionally well over anybody else, barring seeing his stat line and whatever that might be. But he does introduce a bunch of skills into the regular pool, which is always useful. But I just think that aside from that, he doesn't do anything remarkable, but he's going to be solid. So let's take a look at his attacking art here. Again, he's very, stoic. He just has this presence of being a wall. Despite his more, lean form, he just seems very imposing there. And he's definitely staring daggers into his target right now, giving him chills. Ugh. Okay. Next up, we've got Deft Sellsword. Malice. She looks awesome. I love her. Love her art. She looks fantastic. Certainly full-figured. She's got some lean muscle in her arms there. She's standing confident. Cheeky smile on her face. Hands on her hips. Love the purple adornments that kind of pepper the entire outfit, the arm straps, cloth tied around her waist and flowing off to the side. You know, obviously that mirrors the deep, rich, beautiful purples of her hair. Slight tan on her smooth skin, giving her a little bit of a rough and tumble, rough around the edges kind of look. She is a mercenary after all, and she definitely looks the part.
Money comes in, it goes back out again.
So, it sounds like she's not the most careful with her funds. Alright, so she's got Spendy Scimitar. It's going to be a 16 might sword. Has a killer slaying effect to start things off. That's a very good start. If unit initiates combat or is within 2 spaces of an ally, grants bonus to attack to all stats during combat based on the number of times unit has been enhanced using dragon flowers. 1 or more times grants +6, 0 times grants +4, and also if unit has been enhanced using dragon flowers 2 or more times, neutralizes effects that grant a special cooldown charge +1 to foe and inflict special cooldown charge -X on unit during combat. So obviously that's just like Farina, who also gets bonuses based on the number of dragon flowers that you give her. That works. That's great flavor for the whole mercenary thing. The more you give them mercenary, like the more you spend on them, basically, the better of job they'll do on the battlefield, like that kind of thing. So it's a pretty neat effect that's tied into that whole background. So again, killer slaying effect is awesome as always. And then basically if she's player phasing or within 2 spaces of an ally is the condition, which is super easy to meet. And then she gets at least +4 to all of her stats with no dragon flowers, and then +6 to all of her stats with at least 1 dragon flower. And then if she's been enhanced 2 or more times, she basically resets all of the skills out there that would prevent her from gaining special charge and would give the opponent extra special charge. So all of the breath effects, the bold fighter, the vengeful fighter, the guard effects, all of that is neutralized during combat as long as she has 2 dragon flowers. Pretty simple, but that's pretty great for her because she's going to rely on proccing her special. She has the killer slaying effect attached onto her, so she wants to be able to ensure that she gets that special to proc. Luna for the special, attack speed push 4 for the A slot. Push 4 skills are excellent. She does not have an HP threshold for her weapon, so that's perfectly fine for her. And then Spurn 3 for the B slot. If unit speed is greater than foe speed, reduces damage from attacks during combat and from AoE specials by percentage equal to the difference between stats times 4 max 40%. And if unit's HP is less than or equal to 75% and unit attack triggers special, deals +5 damage when special triggers. So obviously that synergizes with both the Spendy Scimitar and the push skill, because if her HP is below a certain threshold, and attack speed push 4 will kind of push her down to below the 75% HP level, she's going to get a +5 true damage alongside the damage proc that she gets from her special. And then she's going to enjoy some damage reduction as well so that her health doesn't dip too far. So all in all, I really like the fact that we're getting another Farina-like weapon here, where it's going to be basically permanent additional boosts when you give them dragon flowers. I think that's pretty awesome, honestly, when you're going to be investing in a unit like this. The downside, of course, is that she's going to be facing stiff competition as an infantry sword unit, of course. There are a lot of them out there that do very powerful and unique things. And really the most unique thing that she brings to the table is that she gets this blanket neutralization of skills that affect the cooldown charge when she has a certain number of dragon flowers. And it's a permanent effect with a very easy condition. So I think she's interesting. I do think she's interesting. Let's take a look at her attacking art here. She's going to tank this hit, enjoy that damage reduction. And here is her special attacking art. It's just a job. Yes, it is. You get a nice full view of her substantial thigh running all the way up to her hip. The bodice itself is hugging and squeezing her ample curves. And looks like she is swinging for the fences right there. She is pulling back in a big way, ready for a huge swing. Love the torrents of purple energy that's just flying off of her with the swing. It's fantastic. You get this momentum, this movement with the cloth. The purple cloth around her waist is also swinging behind her. Love it. It's fantastic. And of course you have the lighting coming off of the weapon effect there that's just kind of shining and reflecting off of her body and her hair, lighting up with that purple. Looks absolutely amazing. So there she goes, and that Luna with that true damage. Very nice. Next up we have Roshea as a Lance Cavalry unit. Of course, he is donning the purples and the magentas and the pinks that are also in Wolf's armor and uniform. He has one fist up, looking pretty determined, I guess. Clean lines to the art as a whole. Nice use of shading on the armor. But otherwise, a little bit on the plain side, I would say, overall. Kind of makes sense since he is, again, the 4-star focus unit of the banner itself. And these are definitely 4-star focus unit skills. So we have Stout Lance Plus, 14 Might. At start of combat, if unit's HP is greater than or equal to 50%, grants attack defense plus 5 during combat, and foe can make a follow-up attack, or if foe can make a follow-up attack, reduces damage from foe's first attack by 50%. So not bad, but also not amazing or anything as an inheritable lance. The attack defense plus 5 is pretty nice with the HP threshold, and then you are able to enjoy that damage reduction, which can help. It's just the condition is that he has to be doubled, or have the potential to be doubled, which probably means he has speed on the slower side, I would think. Drawback for the assist. Speed, defense, form 3. So the form skills are great, I think, and it's great to have another source of form skills in the regular pool. Speed and defense form, not probably the most widely applicable of the form skills, but again, still nice to have, I guess. Distant guard 3 for the C slot. Allies within 2 spaces gain if foe uses a ranged weapon. Grants defense res plus 4 during combat. So honestly, nothing terribly remarkable here either. The Lance could see some uses. The form skill for certain niche builds and units out there. Always nice to have another source of drawback in the pool. But besides that, nothing really to write home about. Okay, and there is this normal attacking art. He's just thrusting forward with his lance. He does have a pretty fierce expression on his face. I do like that. He's got good form, pivoting on one foot, and it's kind of nice that you do get, from this angle, you're able to see the back of the armor here that you're not able to see in his neutral art. That's pretty nice. And of course we have Ascendant Fjorm, the armor axe unit that we have seen in the game with the Tempest Trials. Obviously we've seen this art before. I actually do really like this revisioning of Fjorm. I think it has this ethereal quality to it that's really beautiful. The original artist of Fjorm, Mishima Shigeki, did the work here, and I think captured her really well and created her in a different light. You have, again, this almost angelic, majestic lighting behind her. You have the Niffle flowers, like, as part of her hair in the back, it looks like. You have the white and icy blues that kind of mesh and meld with the gold armor. You know, the gold armor itself is appropriately bulky for an armor unit. It still maintains some grace and femininity to it. You have the sort of the crystallized jewels or ice on the shoulder plates, for example. Fjorm herself looks really, really great with her hair grown out a little bit in this look. And of course, Fjorm's signature thighs are still on display here, despite it being pretty cold outside, but that's Fjorm, right? So Niffle's Bite, 16 Might, Killer Slaying Effect, distant counter built in. If unit is within 2 spaces of an ally, it restores 7 HP to unit after combat, and also, if foe uses a ranged weapon, neutralizes effects that prevent units' counterattacks during combat. So the Killer Slaying Effect, always very, very good. Distant Counter has a pseudo Mystic Boost effect where she heals after combat. And then, basically, you can't prevent her from counterattacking with any skills if you're using a ranged weapon. So she will always be able to counterattack no matter what. So it can effectively put an end to some of the sweep shenanigans out there. Ice Mirror for the special, if foe is 2 spaces from unit, reduces damage from foe's attacks by 30%. Straight up, damage reduction of 30%. And boost units' next attack by total damage reduced by any source, including other skills, when special triggers resets at the end of combat. Skill cannot be inherited. That is Fjorm's signature skill, basically Abide. She's going to take the damage and reduce it, and then dish it back out in her next attack. Steady Posture 3 for the A slot. If foe initiates combat, grants speed defense plus 6 to unit during combat, and inflicts special cooldown charge -1 on foe per attack. More speed, more defense, guard effect on the enemy, neutralizing their ability to effectively do more damage against Fjorm herself. That is just fine. And then B-slot, Hardy Fighter 3, neutralizes effects that guarantee foes follow-up attacks during combat. So straight up neutralizing the abilities like Bold Fighter, like Quick Riposte. At start of turn 1, if foe's attack triggers special, grants special cooldown count -2. If foe's attack triggers special and special has the reduces damage by % effect, special triggers twice, then reduces damage by 5. Example, if special has the reduces damage by 50% effect and no other damage reduction effects trigger, reduces initial damage by 50%, then reduces remaining damage by 50% for a total damage reduction of 75%. Remaining damage is then reduced further by 5. Each special trigger is calculated as a separate activation. Oh my god, alright. So this is a particularly niche fighter skill for armors in the B slot, but it's going to revolve around the utilization of damage reduction specials. So breaking that down, neutralizes guaranteed follow-up attacks, and then on turn 1, it'll give her Ice Mirror on a 0-turn cooldown. So she'll have an insta-charge on turn 1 of Ice Mirror itself. And then the really fascinating part of this is because it's so niche, like it's so specialized, but if the special reduces damage, it activates twice. And it's really misleading when it says it activates twice. What it really means is that it stacks on itself twice, or it doubles the effect, essentially. So the 30% damage reduction that Ice Mirror has, it's actually going to be 30% and then another 30%. Not additive, it's going to be multiplicative, but she's going to get increased damage reduction plus 5 fixed damage reduction associated with that, and that's all going to build into the actual Ice Mirror retaliatory attack that she does. So all of that is going to build into it's going to be additional damage for her Ice Mirror when she actually attacks. And then attack, res, far, save 3. Yes, the save skills, we all know, love, and hate them. They're very, very, very powerful effects, and so she's going to be strictly enemy phase, like even more enemy phase than the original Fjorm was. I mean, the original Fjorm was built around essentially tanking and retaliating and being very substantial in terms of her sustain. This is just another step, and which makes sense because she's an armored unit as well. That Hardy Fighter is just kind of made for her. It's like perfect for her and her Ice Mirror skill, basically. So it's interesting how this entire kit kind of comes together cohesively to build around what she tries to do. And she's going to do it very effectively because she's going to be an enemy phase powerhouse. She's going to have enjoy a lot of damage reduction, even though we have skills out there that kind of neutralize or get around damage reduction. That's not to say that damage reduction is dead. I mean, it's still going to be very, very effective and helpful here. She's going to have healing built into her weapon. The only thing I could see, potentially steady posture. I could see that being swapped out for a different posture skill with different stats being affected, especially for her res, rather than just defense and speed. But honestly, I think it's a pretty great, again, cohesive kit that they've put together for her. And I think it's going to do very well. So here's the Ice Mirror coming into play with the bunnies. And here she's retaliating. In her attacking art here, you get a look at some of the icy particle effects that are coming off of her axe as she's swinging there. You also get a better look at her flowing hair. I really like that. And you get to appreciate kind of the feathered look at the top of her boots as well as the bottom of her skirt and how they kind of meet together. Really, really nice. So there she goes. And, of course, enjoying that heal afterwards. So, again, new story chapter, What Remains. We're coming down to it. Coming down to the end of the book before too long, I think. And, yeah. So, even color distribution on the banner. Roshea being the blue is going to be the 4-star focus unit of the banner itself. With green featuring the new Ascendant Fjorm and Ascendant unit type in the game, and I do think that Fjorm is basically the prize of the banner. Apparently none of them are limited in any capacity, even Fjorm. So again, these are dropped into the regular pool, so there's no rush to get these units. This banner is also probably going to be out for an entire month, so once again, there's no big rush to summon in hard on this banner. But at the same time, they are incentivizing these new hero banners with the whole Celestial Stone shop, as well as now the Ascendant flowers, whatever they are, to be able to pull for those characters and enjoy the ability to not only get a free double boon or double asset on Fjorm, but also put that on another character of your choosing. So I do think that Fjorm is kind of the prize of the banner. I would put Malice under her in terms of power and what she does, and her art is just fantastic, of course. And then below her, I would put Wolf, who I feel is just a little bit generic and boring in terms of his kit. And then you've got Roshea as the 4-star focus unit, who has a half-decent inheritable weapon and a form skill for the A slot. And, that's more or less it. He is going to be easier to get, so if you are a fan of him, you could potentially use him as a merge project. But similar with infantry sword units, lance cavalry units are a dime a dozen, so it is a very competitive weapon and movement class. For me personally, I don't know if I'm going to summon right away, but I am probably eventually going to summon for Malice on this banner and Fjorm. I don't know if I'm going to do it right away. I might wait until we see what else is in store for the rest of the month and the rest of the following month. But let me know in the comments below if you're excited for this banner, if you're excited for these units, if you had predicted that we were going to be getting Ascendant Fjorm in this fashion. Let me know in the comments below. Hopefully you all enjoyed the video. If you did, please feel free to leave us a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more Fire Emblem Heroes content. We thank you all so much for watching and for taking time out of your day to spend with us. We really do appreciate it. Certainly hoping you're all staying safe, healthy, secure, and united out there, and wishing the very, very best for you, your family, and your friends. And until next time, let's protect those skies.